Alright, so if you guys follow my channel or my Instagram in any way, you know that I do a ton of unboxing videos. Like, a ton. And, you know, to be completely honest, I never really expected myself to be doing a lot of unboxing videos, but with all the products that I've been sent and stuff like that, it kind of turned into this thing. Cool. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to take you guys through how I make these unboxing videos. Now, when I say how I make these, I literally make a ton of them. I've made unboxing videos for almost every single product that I've been sent, mainly because a lot of companies really like them, and I like making them. I think they're fun, I think you can get really creative with them, and they're not that hard. So I want to take you through how I unbox a new product. I need to figure out which product I can actually show you guys though. So basically, it kind of all starts out with the idea, right? Or with the product, and then the idea. So if I'm shooting something that's very, in a sense, rustic, or has a little bit more of a utility vibe, I immediately start thinking about the surface in which I am going to unbox it on. And I have a couple different ones. I'll show you. Alright, so if you guys follow me for any point in time, you will notice, you will know, you will remember, you'll see this table. This table is probably the table that I've used for almost most of my videos, most of my unboxings, a lot of product stuff, and it's because of the beautiful texture. This is reclaimed barn wood from actually a barn that was a couple towns over, and it actually has like these steel like railroad track wheels. I love this table. I think that it looks so good when you're going, you know, top down, or if you're going like this, it just looks really nice. There's a lot of texture, and it just looks so good. I mean, take a look at my hat. Like, I feel like that looks cool, right? Another option is over there. So here is another option. We have this. This is actually a record player stand that I found on Amazon, and it's a really cool one too. But ignore the knife deck. But what I like about this is that it's a very neutral, solid wood, which I do like having a nice piece of, you know, walnut wood. I think it looks really good, and it kind of adds a little bit of color. So I think this would be a great option as well. And then if I were to do something techie, I would honestly kind of do it on my office surface, or my desk surface, just because I think that this leather mat would look really cool. Also, I have a couple black surfaces upstairs that I would also use to, if I really wanted to showcase a product or be really dramatic. But for this instance, we are going to use that table. So, as you guys are aware, lighting is a huge part of any product photography or video, obviously. And so right now, I'm going to start thinking about how I light the product, right? So we decided that we're going to use this table. How am I going to now light the product? There are a couple different ways on how I'm going to light it. But first, I want to show you some examples of what some lighting could look like. So right now in front of me, I'm going to turn the camera around. I have this big, huge aperture light dome 2 with the grid on it to make sure that the light is very directional. And this is actually connected to a Amaran 200X, so that way I can dial in the color temperature as well. Okay, so right now I am currently facing the light, and as you can see, it's kind of flat on my face. I mean, you know, if I were to move my head a little bit up, it's very flat lighting, and it looks good because it is a huge source, it is very diffused, but it's not giving me that drama I like. So one thing I like to do is just turn a little bit, or turn the light, and that way now you see that this side of my face is lit, this side is on the shadow side. And actually, when you're filming someone, for example, doing an interview, this is called Rembrandt lighting. And the reason being is because you see this little triangle here of light. That is called the Rembrandt triangle, I believe. And basically, the artist Rembrandt was known for painting that light and adding that dramatic light to his paintings. So they kind of took that, put it into films, became a huge thing, and it looks really good. And so this is typically how I light products. I'll usually have a really nice big source and then light from an angle going down. And that typically adds a lot of good dimension as well as depth and honestly a little bit of moodiness, and I really like that. And then the last option would be honestly a top-down light. Now this can be very cool but also very tricky. You'd have to do it really right because having a top-down light can potentially lead to flat lighting, so you have to play with your angles. And that's where we get into the third point of where am I going to set up the camera? How am I going to do that? And I'll show you how right now. Alright, and here is pretty much my go-to setup. So we're going to start over here. This is a little, I guess, telescoping, sliding arm bending thing that I got. I will link this below because I don't know what it's called. But it's really cool because it just clamps to the side of the table and then telescopes up and then out. And then what I have here is I just attached a ball head to the quarter 20 mount over here. And then I have my R5 right on top pointing straight down. And if you're wondering what the shot looks like, that's kind of what it looks like right there. This is what the shot looks like. Okay, so one thing that you should probably remember is that most of these unboxing reels are honestly made for this, your iPhone. So a lot of the times they're going to be cropped in a 9:16 aspect ratio. But as you can tell, I'm shooting this in a 16:9 aspect ratio. And that is because I always like to prefer to shoot in a 16:9 aspect ratio and then crop when I need to. And the reason being is because that way I can also readjust the frame if I need to show something in particular. That's pretty much why I shoot like this. Okay, so real quick before we get any further into the video, we're gonna kind of take a second to really look at the frame that we have, because I think framing is largely misunderstood when it comes to doing an unboxing. So I have my trusty little iPad here, and I'm gonna basically take you through my thought process when I'm talking about framing the shot and what I think is gonna go on where. So as we can see, we have the main product right here, which is the phone. What we don't want is all of this. This stuff is not important, right? We don't like that stuff. So in order for me to make sure that I don't have that in the unboxing, I will either zoom in or I'll reframe completely. I always keep in mind that the aspect ratio I'm shooting for is a 9:16, not 16:9. Sometimes I am shooting where I have, this space still in shot because it's not really gonna affect this angle right here. So I'm kind of keeping into consideration this yellow aspect ratio going on right here. Next, we have to understand, okay, what is the product that we're shooting? As you can see, we're shooting the phone, right? Now we have to think about, okay, what's in the frame and what's going to go along with the unboxing of the phone. I'm sitting over here. It's me. And so I have my hands going this way, it's like my hands, and they're going to be the ones that are unboxing the phone. So if I have any props that I want in the video, I don't want them to be obscuring my hands or the main object. So one thing I'll do is I'll add some props maybe in the corners over here, maybe over here, this slider for example over here, things that might in a sense complement the product but not take away from the actual unboxing of the phone. So I hope that kind of makes a little bit of sense when I'm talking about this top-down angle. Obviously, if you guys really want and you guys don't think that you're going to be using the whole 16:9 aspect ratio for anything like YouTube or stuff like that, and it's specifically for reels, go for it. Film vertically, do it however you want. This is just how I personally like to do it. But there is another way that I like to unbox certain things because I feel like this next way is a little bit more cinematic. So let's flip the camera around and I'll show you that real quick. All right, so for this next angle, it's a little bit more complicated, but it makes for a really good look. And that's shooting it with the C70 on a tripod from a different angle completely. Check this out. Okay, so first things first is obviously let's position this light on our product surface, and then we're going to set up the C70. So the way I like to do this is I'm just gonna move the light this way so you can actually see me while I set up the camera. But the way I like to do this is basically make sure I get the right angle going first. So if I have a really big product, I'm typically going to take the sticks and raise it up so I can get a little bit more of an angle shooting down. But if I want to be kind of close to the product, I'll usually have it at the lowest setting. I'll sometimes even just go straight, like flat with the product. But what I like to do is first obviously make sure that my horizon is perfectly level right there. Because the last thing you want is to have to do that in post, and it's a whole hassle. You just don't want to do it, just trust me. Next thing is I have my monitor up here, and with all of my unboxings, I always shoot in 24 frames per second. That's right, I don't shoot unboxings in slow motion because it kind of is a little harder to do, and with unboxings, you kind of want to go through it fast, you want to be efficient about it. B-roll is a little different, but when it comes to the actual unboxing experience, that's when I will shoot 24 frames per second and just keep it like that, make it real simple and easy. So we have the camera at 24 frames per second. We're gonna move the light over here, and we're basically going to film the product like this. In the top down, I had a 16-35 on because I wanted a nice wide angle so I can make sure I get my hands and stuff like this. For this, I can actually switch to a 24-70 so that I can actually move this camera further back or forward and zoom in on the product and add a little bit of depth, because I think that looks really good. Okay, the next thing I like to do is just flip this LCD monitor thing. That is the Atomos Shinobi 5, and I like to flip it this way so that I can actually see. Now, I am shooting at a 16mm, so obviously it looks a lot farther away, but I can see that pretty well. And I always want to make sure that I'm looking at the monitor so that I can know what's in shot and what's in focus. The problem though is you can see my legs. Don't really want to deal with that. So this is where lighting comes back in. What I will do is I will move the lights. What I'll do is I'll move the light a little bit more to the side angle. And because I have the grid on this is actually going to help with the direction of the light. When you look at that camera, you can see that you can't really see my legs at all that much. That's kind of the point I want to make, is I want to make sure that the product is really the thing that's in focus. That is the thing that we are going to be focusing on, not my legs. There is one more thing that I do like to mention. And that last thing is obviously what is in the background. Now, if I'm sitting over there and I'm product, yada, 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 you'll notice that because of the grid on the light, you don't really see the background a lot that much, but I do have some Edison bulbs going on over there, and that gives a little bit of ambiance to the overall shot of the product that we're shooting. So I really do like to do that. And again, it's all about playing with angles, and really the whole point is the product that you're showing. You want to make sure that this product is the thing that stands out the most. Now you may be wondering, is that it? That's really much it? You take the product out of the box, then you just show it to a camera? Yeah, pretty much. But the way you do it also has an effect on what the product is. You don't want to just rip open things. I mean, maybe you do. Maybe you want to just full Casey Neistat it and just rip things open, and that's your charm. But I like to make sure that when I'm doing a product unboxing, I like to make sure that the product is treated with care and is shown to be a premium product. The reason why I like to do that is because it adds a sense of quality to the product that you're trying to showcase. As a photographer or as the filmmaker, it's your responsibility to make sure that this product looks good for the people that are going to buy it. Now, an unboxing experience is always really important because every time you get a new product, say you get a new iPad, for example, the unboxing experience of Apple products is super fun because it's kind of a part of the experience of getting a product. When you get a really nice product and it's really well packaged and you unbox it, it's fun and it makes you enjoy the product you have more. And honestly, it makes you want to keep some of the packaging. For example, Home and Hatfield do an amazing job with their packaging. Fantastic. It is a whole experience. You know that the product is going to show up very nice, safe, secure. And other companies like Pete's Pirate Life, they do a great job. And obviously Rolex, Omega, stuff like that. So you really want to make sure that your video for this company showcases that fun experience. And then to just put the cherry on top of every single product video, I like to add a little bit of B-roll, because who doesn't love some good old-fashioned slow motion B-roll? That's usually when I like to take the camera off the tripod and just put it in 120, go around the product with the nice lighting, you know, really isolate the product in the lighting, let it bask, let it glow, and just get some great shots of the product, because that kind of shows that the product is more than just the unboxing. It's an actual product. So if you have a pair of shoes, for example, and you're unboxing those, you want to show the shoes in the nice light that you already have set up. And it adds a little bit of fun to the video. Now, when we go into editing the videos, as you can see, is most unboxing videos should only really be max 30 seconds. That was a hard thing for me to grasp when I first started out, because I do not like how people have such short attention spans. So you want to try to hook people in as soon as possible. You want to try to show the product as soon as possible, or at least the logo as soon as possible. When you're doing something like that, you show the logo, you unbox it very quickly. You don't need to show all of the tearing of the plastics or whatever. The sooner you get to the product, the better. Then once you have the product out, you show it off. You change lenses, you get a zoom lens, you get a macro lens, you show the detail. You use your talents as a photographer or a filmmaker and really get in there, show the nitty gritty, show the attention to detail that a lot of people would miss if they didn't have the product themselves. And honestly, it kind of makes it so that when someone gets the actual product after seeing your video, they get even more excited because they see the little details that you noticed before anyone else did. And you know, of course, have fun with it. Make it as creative as you possibly can. Really flex that creative muscle, and just know that you are an artist and these products are pieces of art most of the time. Have fun with it, and hopefully you might even get some jobs out of it. But let me know what you think of this video. If you guys like this style of video, let me know in the comments down below, and I would love to make more. And if you guys have any cool unboxing videos, link them to me down below. Share them with me. Let me know. I'd love to check them out. If you guys aren't following me, please subscribe, hit the like button, and follow my Instagram, because I post a lot of unboxings on there as well. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you all later. Peace. Well, that was a bad snap.